Oh, Lordy, Lordy Lou. It's about to get so crazy. Yeah, sorry. Yes, for those of you who are watching, we are all doing the Wakanda Forever salute. We will also start off by saying it is sad when you lose Batman and Black Panther. So this is going to be kind of a bittersweet, kind of crazy one. Jaws started this off, and I'm waiting for you to stop because my
Oh,
shoulders are
sorry.
already.
Bombay.
Bombay. Yes, that is fair. In the chants of the people of Wakanda. Shout outs to everybody. Big shout outs to my boss who actually sent me a video today of a guy on the street in LA asking people, "Can you name one African country?" And the people said Wakanda.
Oh
And
no.
and you know what? I would be mad, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
No.
If y'all want to
No.
believe in Wakanda,
You shouldn't take
No.
that.
no.
No.
Oh,
All
come
these
on,
countries
man.
have been here forever.
Fine, y'all have to be all serious with the facts and shit. Folks, that other voice you just heard, I feel like I have to introduce them. We have a guest in the studio, the one, the only. You can check out her content on Letterbox, where she has all these amazing reviews. She's a big time movie buff. She's always telling me to get on Letterbox so I can up my game because I don't have a record of all the movies I've watched. And she's out there just killing it, slaying it with these great reviews, 1 star, 5 stars. Y'all have to impress the queen. We got Janessa in the studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we were trying to figure out. We were like, okay, we're gonna talk about Wakanda Forever, obviously, because that's the movie du jour, and as well it should be. But before we get to that, we definitely still have to talk about the sadness that he's probably the voice of Batman that anyone under, because I would say because a lot of people still had the Adam West for the older generation. That's what they hear when they hear Batman,
but that
which is
would be
fair.
like 50 and older, maybe 60 and
Right.
older would definitely be Adam West.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think of like what age range, because for us, I would say anyone 45 and younger is the Batman the animated series. That Batman voice is very specific to our generation. And I feel really old saying that when I say 45 and under, when I realize how close I am to 45. Couple years, 6, but still. But yes, Kevin Conroy passed away recently. And it was really sad. I mean, seeing everyone post all the other voice actors that he worked with, everyone talking about the loss, all the fans, dude, the amount of like fan animation sketches people made, people took clips, people took the voice and put it over other things. Jaws, I think, was it you that shared the one where Gordon and Batman are like paying tribute to Kevin?
Oh no, I don't think I don't remember if I shared that in the group, but yeah, I did see that one where Batman goes and sees Gordon,
right,
and he's not talking. He's like, "Oh, you're not talking like a little bit more than usual," and he gives him a note. He's just like, "I kind of lost my voice right now. I can't really speak."
Exactly. Yeah, that one hit. That one hit a little. I won't lie. I'm not too much of a man to admit when I felt a single bat tear. Single bat tear. With the bat spray and the bat sadness. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. But yeah, man. So to anyone who's out there I know some people get really attached to these voices and some people get attached to these characters. So legit, if you're having a rough time, seek out and talk to somebody, and or do what my friend did. My friend's just doing a rewatch. He's just rewatching
tribute.
Yeah, right. He's just rewatching all of Batman the Animated Series, the whole thing from top, which I feel like I could do. I think the only thing is like I would probably want to watch it at 1.5x. And people would get mad at me.
No, come on. Let it be normal. Come on.
At least for the tribute. Yeah.
But I mean, guys,
it's such a good show.
Watch everything. It's a great show, but there's so many episodes.
Yeah, because they're all good. And you got to roll that into Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Right. So how many episodes are we talking? And then the new adventures of Batman and Rob, right?
That would roll in with the animated series.
Right. 1.5, guys. I'm sorry. I don't got all day.
Yes,
I love you, Kevin, but I don't got all day.
Yes, you do. You got all day.
Dude, I don't even have Saturday. Hydro's cutting my power from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday.
Better rip it to your phone.
Yeah,
get a generator.
Listen,
Get ready.
How much data do y'all think I have plugging
No,
into
you
your
just
phone?
download it before Saturday. That way you can watch all of them.
Shit, out here with a plan, making me look crazy.
Gotta keep yourself occupied.
This one over here talking about a generator. You talking about how to do it. So fine. Y'all want to make a plan for me on Saturday? Fair. I do have to drive to the West Island, so maybe I will do that after I drive to the West Island. Sit in my car, just plug it in my car as I wait for my dad. Anyways,
but yeah, like I would definitely say, I guess the writers and him got it down where Bruce Wayne speaks like this and acts like this, and then Batman is definitely probably default. Then you got to watch Batman Beyond.
Did he do Batman Beyond? Oh yes,
yeah,
he
that
did
was
do
him.
Batman
That was
Beyond.
him when he's older.
Yes.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
Older Bruce Wayne and everything. And he's like, oh, how do you know that? That the voice in your head wasn't you. He's like, I don't call myself Bruce Wayne. I think I'm stupid out here.
That was a great episode. And honestly, I feel like that's the one episode that anytime I try to explain to someone how like even in the comic, I'm just like, watch this scene and you will understand the psyche of Batman, because he really did have that moment of like, oh, I don't call myself Bruce. That I've never once I got to a certain point in my life, I am Batman and Bruce is the mask, and that's just how it is. And then you're like, good God, this is why I say Batman is mentally ill.
He is.
And people get mad at me, and I'm like, you can get mad all you want. The man's sick.
He lost his parents, and then he made a vow to his dead parents that it will never happen again to anybody else. So he'll just punch a criminal. He'll bring back his parents, one punched criminal at a time, one knocked out dude.
Yes. It's the trauma talking. The trauma and like the the trauma and the fist talking together.
Two other good episodes from Justice League was when I think time was kind of bending in on itself, because I think time, I forgot the name of the bad guy, Kronos or something like that, like a very low level bad guy. Huh?
The Clock King, the one with the clock face?
No, he was maybe, but he wasn't like super good. Like he was like a lame villain, and he just happened.
Clock King is lame, by the way. No offense to anyone
so
who
it's
likes
probably
Clock
King, because I think what ends up happening is his wife snitches on him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but what ends up happening is modern day Batman meets up with Batman Beyond, like old man Wayne Batman. He's like, wow, I live. Holy crap. He's like, yeah. And then they go to interrogate somebody and they don't get the information they need. And then old man Wayne is like, I can't believe I was that green. And he takes out his cane. And then the next scene is the guy they're interrogating. He's saying his social security. He's talking about how much how much cells of Joker people they got all over the country, and what he did when he wet the bed when he was a kid. He just gave it all up.
Batman's not afraid to beat a bitch, like Wayne Brady style in that sketch. Like he's just like, nah, I'm here for it.
And then I think the last part I'll bring up is in Justice League, I think it was Epilogue. So Terry goes to meet up with Waller, and she tells him a story about was it Royal Flush Gang, and then they had like a super powerful telepath that was basically she's basically like what's her name? Witch. Scarlet Witch, where she just bended reality and everything. They gave Batman like this kind of tranquilizer / like lethal dose of something to kill her, and she could like read your mind and everything, and he just went to go talk with her, and she was like, oh, you're not gonna use that thing? He's like, nope. And he puts it away. It's like, well, why are you here? It's like, well, you can just read my mind and find out what's up. And she was like, oh, I don't have much time to live. And he's like, yeah. So he's like, and so she's like, can you just stay with me? And he's like, yeah, I'm here. And they're on like a swing set, and he kind of like holds her hand, and she passes, and everything goes back to normal, and he just walked out with her, and it was just like, whoo. It's like, yo,
that was
compassion.
That was one of the most shared ones too that I saw this weekend, that people were just like, and it's funny too, because to think you're sharing that, because when you think of Kevin passing away and you have those scenes in your head, you're picturing like, this is Kevin. That's what was interesting, that these were all the scenes that people were sharing, to be like, Kevin passed and this was us seeing Kevin. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty wild.
Mark Hamill had a good tribute too.
Oh yes, Joker. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all of them. Tara Reid, the whole crew. Everyone posted something really nice. They all had something nice to say about him, and it's unfortunate. 66, also
Yeah,
young. I think.
very young.
Yeah, I feel like people are living longer these days. So 66 sounds. Yeah.
Really? I feel like everyone's dying early.
You feel
really young? Yeah. I don't know. Well, celebrities anyway. Everyone
That's
I see,
fair.
they're pretty young now.
I don't think
People
he
are
was
getting-
like hard partying or anything like that, you know. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Mind you, we don't know. I would love to see pictures of Kevin Conroy in the club doing the Batman voice. Pass me that Hennessy.
That's how he picks up girls.
Yeah. I'll need another one of the Henny, and it's just like running around being.
I am the party.
Yeah. I'm here for it. That version of Kevin, I'm 100% down. But yeah, crazy. What else has been going on in the world, Jaws? What's been going on your end? Because there's nothing really all that interesting in mine. Snow has fallen. People are depressed.
Got to shovel some snow.
Yeah,
shovel a
seasonal
walkway
depression
and all that.
snow.
At least it was like it was. I call it packing snow. Like it's like snowman making snow.
Yes,
got to make a snowman, and it
sticky.
And it
you made a snowman.
Over. We made it. We had enough snow to make a snowman, and like 20 minutes later, we look outside and the snowman just. I'm like, who knocked out the snowman?
You can't. The carrot can't be drenched in whiskey. You gotta just give a regular carrot. Drunk ass snowman. I gotta say, and Janessa and I were just talking about this when I went to pick you up. You were saying like, why do we live here?
Yeah.
That's free.
This is a question I ask myself. I think every single winter, every time it comes around, I want to get out. I want to move. I'm like, why am I here? I need to be somewhere where there's sun only. I just
like, and that's the thing.
Like, yeah, my Caribbean blood cannot handle this. Like, I can't.
Like, and that's the part that bothers. Like, whenever I see the snow, and I'm just like, you have that moment of like, oh, it looks so nice, and then like within 10 minutes, all the slush and mud and cars and everything's dirty, and you're just like, why do we do this? And then you're right. Like, I think about like, well, what would it be like to live in like California or Florida and stuff like that?
Amazing. It would be amazing.
The only problem though, and this, I just want to remind people, earthquakes and forest fires.
That's true.
And then Florida is Florida. Let's be honest. Florida is.
We just had our own earthquake.
Yes, true. That's
we just had an earthquake. Dude. We were rebuilt
here in Montreal.
Really?
See, exactly.
It was what? I think it was 4.3. It was 3 to 4.3 or something. So you barely felt it. You thought a truck rolled by your house.
Every time I've spoken to someone about it, literally all of them have said, "Yeah, man, I just thought a truck was driving by," and I was just like, "I did." So I was watching WWE channel because I'm trying to be like y'all.
Yeah, I was just about to watch. I was going to watch Macho Man versus Ricky Steamboat. That's the one to watch.
I watched Macho Man and Mr. Perfect versus.
That sounds like
Ric Flair and Razor Ramon for Survivor Series 92.
Okay, that's WWE.
That's cool. It was Survivor Series 1992 that I watched. So it was really cool because that was the era of wrestling that I did watch as a kid.
Right, and then you can finally watch the pay-per-view.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
You have to go and rent it. Be there with your friend's place.
But it was cool because Owen Hart and Coco Beware fought the Afu and not Afu, but Rishiki and some other dude. I don't remember what the other guy's name was, but the name of the
head shrinkers?
Head shrinkers. Thank you.
I think. Yeah.
So, but Owen Hart was dressed in like neon yellow and I was like, "What is this, Owen? Why did they have you in this getup?"
Well, yeah, he was with Coco Beware, right?
But what was their team? I didn't even know. I didn't even remember.
I can't remember the name, but I don't remember that far back. But
for reasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you just got to match. You got to match. You're a team. You got to match.
Shameful. I'm not even gonna lie. I saw him come out.
Well, you got to remember, even Owen Hart made it into the what was the team he was a part of? The Nation of Domination. Yeah.
Say what? Yeah. Owen Hart was in the Nation of Domination, the black only wrestling group.
Yeah, the Black Stable. Yeah.
How a black only wrestling group?
Well, it was like
it was like a stable.
Yeah,
it was like a crew. It was like a crew. So like you would have like your Heart Foundation, and you have your Nation of Domination, NWO and the WCW era, but DX, Degeneration X, and all that. So yeah. But yeah, he like, I'm pretty sure he was like cool with all those guys. Like, yeah, just join our group. Don't worry about it.
I mean, to be honest, the fact that he came out with Coco Beware, I remember thinking in my head, like, oh, you were down. Like, you were down. Well, like, people
remember Bret Hart's second wife is black.
Oh,
I'm not kidding.
I did not know that.
Very beautiful.
All right, Bret.
I think she's in her
what you
40s.
Calgary boys are doing.
40s or 50s. Well, there was also, I think it was WrestleMania where he was wrestling Bam Bam Bigelow, and Salt and Pepper sang him out. They were the ones that sang him out. Bam Bam, you're going to get slammed. And then there was like a promotional thing, and they're kind of like Salt and Pepper dancing around Bret Hart, and Bret Hart's like, yeah. And everyone's like, how did we not see this?
How did Bret Hart get Salt and Pepper? Like, what world were we living in that this is the things he could do?
No, he was always there. Remember that? What was that hip hop group from Canada?
Black culture.
What's the hip hop group?
Base?
Huh?
Like the Aces Base? Like, how far back am I going?
2000s ish. Mocha Only was a part of them too, I think.
Oh, Swollen Members.
Is it Swollen Members?
Yes.
There's a music video, and they're going to go rescue somebody, and the person they go and rescue, I think the song's called Sharpshooter. They went to go rescue Bret Hart, and Bret Hart's there jamming with them.
God, Bret Hart was out here just hanging out with black culture all across Canada. Okay, Bret, again,
our family.
Respect, y'all doing your thing. Because wrestling, as we know, I won't get too deep into it, but we know wrestling can be racist.
But there's peoples and cliques that are like always close together. Like Undertaker, he has like a tattoo called BSK, which means Bone Street Crew, and that would just be all the people he played dominoes with, and it would be a mix of everybody. So I think Rikishi Fatu was a part of that. Yokozuna was a part of that. Like just all like just mix of people were just in that crew, Bone Street Crew.
Okay. Well, earthquakes, typhoons, wrestling, all these things happen in 1 week. But the most important thing, other than Kevin passing, was the release of one of the most influential movies of a generation. Or is it? I think we're going to discuss that right now. Ooh. Folks, Wakanda Forever came out. Major success, 181 million in its opening. People were really excited.
Highest since Catching Fire, what was the Hunger Games one? The last Hunger Games one.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I've heard.
But that was the highest opening since that movie.
Since that movie, for this month, I think for
month of November. The month. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say I feel like other movies have done 300 on their opening, but okay. So, are we ready? Do we? You know what? Before we even start, Never ready. I'm going to put the spoiler banner across the bottom. So for anyone who's watching this,
heavy spoilers.
We are going to be spoiling Wakanda Forever. Do not hit us up in our DMs because we will give the finger.
Sending threats.
Some of y'all out here do not listen. You get mad. You get big-headed. You start sending nasty messages, acting like you don't know. You weren't raised right, so we're just going to put that on the screen so that your mom doesn't have to tell you, I know I raised you better than to talk to people like that. He said, that's the thing. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. If you send me a nasty message, I'm going to just screen cap and send it to your mom's. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send the exact message to your mom's. I'm going to be like, ma'am, this is what your son is messaging because we spoiled the movie. Okay, let's get for real. So, Wakanda Forever, Ryan Coogler. I don't know if you guys did either of you get the chance to listen to the podcast because they did a podcast for.
No.
Okay,
no.
So, Ta-Nehasi Coates interviewed Ryan. I got to listen to that before I saw the movie, and in it he was explaining how he wrote the script for the sequel, called up Chadwick and asked Chadwick if he wanted to see it, and Chadwick said, "No, I'll wait. Don't send it to me." And then that was the last time.
I'm too tired.
Yeah, I'm too tired.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that he told him he was too tired. That's true. The wife, and And then that was the last time he spoke to him, he said, because he said the next thing he found out was that Chad had passed away.
Yeah.
And he had just written the sequel. He said that a lot of things started to make sense too, because he started to remember, like, when they were doing the shots at the falls, how Chad would have to take longer breaks to warm back up and all this stuff. He would stay in his trailer a lot longer. He found him crying one time. He didn't understand why. And I was just like, yo. So I can only imagine, because there's a lot of people. First, let's address the big issue, not issue, but big conversation that was surrounding the fact that people really said, why are we not recasting Black Panther? You had multiple actors play Superman, multiple actors play Spider-Man, multiple actors play Batman, multiple actors play tons of different characters. T'Challa, the actor who plays T'Challa, passes away. Everyone's and Kevin Feige and Marvel and Disney say, we're not recasting. Go ahead, Jens. Hit us.
I was gonna say that I 100% agree with that. Obviously, with Chadwick passing, it was, I think, a shock for everyone.
Yeah.
And he made such a, statement with his first movie.
Yeah.
That it's like, how can you picture anyone else as T'Challa?
Right.
He is T'Challa.
He is.
He's Black Panther.
Yeah.
And especially with how he passed and everyone not knowing his situation, it was just, I think it would have been almost disrespectful, to cast someone else as Black Panther. In my opinion, that's how I see it.
For me, at least, don't do it for the sequel. I feel like you got to give us too soon.
Too soon.
I feel like a lot of people were under the impression that, like, oh, he passed, we should be able to recast him. It's just like, yeah, but guys, it's different if, like, Val Kilmer decided he didn't want to play Batman, so George Clooney took over the mantle. That wasn't a factor of Val Kilmer, knock on wood, dying. Like, I know he's like, he didn't die from cancer,
right?
And that,
again, knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood, because I know he's he's recently dealt with it and whatnot. But like, the fact that George Clooney took over was because the actor bowed out.
Yeah.
The fact that they recast for the Spider-Man multiple times is those are different iterations of the universe. The fact that Superman has had different actors play the role, again, different iterations.
Well, I mean, you can't do Superman when the guy that originally played him is, quadriplegic. Like, he had a whole back problem,
Yeah, and so they stopped doing that run. They then turn around. They have Brandon Roth do the film. That one didn't do well, so they shelve everything. Nick Cage never does his Superman movie. Next thing you know, the next person you see is Henry Cavill. And guess what? We haven't had another Superman since Henry Cavill. A different actor didn't come back. And spoiler alert again for Black Adam, guess who showed up to play Superman again at the end in the post-credit scene? So, it's like... Oh, sorry. Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
You're ruining it. It should have said spoilers for Black Adam.
I should have already said that.
That was so rude of me.
It's my fault.
I'm sorry.
You do have the disclaimer. So you're safe.
I was on the internet. I was just like, oh, I'm assuming something's happening. And then they're like, oh, The Witcher. And I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. But I feel like when it came to Marvel, people didn't want to take that into consideration. People kept bringing up James Bond. Listen, James Bond is a very different beast. That, like, James Bond is like, some people think James Bond, the actors are changing because the Bond is changing. Like, some people think like, oh, it's a different Bond because he's a spy and the name James Bond 007 is the moniker of the spy.
Nope.
That's not how it is. I know that, and I've explained to people many times, but some people like to think that way. So, but if anything, what I'm saying is, because people think that way, there's no connection for the actor to the role to them, so it doesn't matter who plays it. And that's what's different. With us as fans, like you said, he did such an iconic performance and brought life to this character.
And he knew it was a big deal. He definitely knew it was a big deal. And even while he was still sick, he still kind of soldiered on and put on a brave face, acted his butt off, even while in pain and stuff like that.
And I fought for... just to add what you're saying, and the other thing that Ryan said was he fought for establishing the universe that Wakanda is in. Like, what language they were going to speak, how they were going to look, and stuff like that. He did that from when he got cast.
Yeah.
Sorry. So
And then also, oh geez, where was I going to go with this? Also, the fact that Disney does have the money to recast him and change his face, but I mean, the fact that they said that they're not going to do it, I think that speaks a lot of volumes. That they're like, okay, we trust the cast, we trust Ryan Coogler, what he's planning on doing, and Ryan had a very lose-lose situation where your main actor that you actually wrote the story around is gone, and then you have to try to salvage what you have and then try to still make it make sense and still kind of still go with it. So that was a task and a half. But
can we say, considering how hard and how much of an uphill battle that was?
Yeah. I was just gonna say I was actually going into this with not very high expectations.
Same.
Because I was worried that after what just happened, Chadwick passing, I was like, how is he gonna what is he gonna do at this point?
Right.
Like it was such a bang with how everything happened. I was just worried that the story was gonna flop.
Right.
And I'm actually impressed with how it turned out. I was expecting to be not as dense as it was.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a good surprise. Definitely a good surprise.
I went in scared that this was going to flop. I'm not going to lie. And not because I don't trust in Ryan. I trust Ryan, but because of the baggage. Like you going into telling a story of that magnitude and everything that you had established, and he lost his father, he comes into power, he he introduces Wakanda to the world, we do all this stuff, we get to all these 5 years, blah, 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 boom, start the movie, T'Challa's dead. And you're like, well, how do you
recover from that?
Exactly.
It's crazy to ask someone to and the fact that Ryan went in and said, I'll do it, I'll figure it out.
I thought he was gonna I thought he said he was gonna step away for a bit, and then he said, no, he was gonna do it. I thought he had some trepidations about
I mean, with all this pressure, kudos to him, because I don't know. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Facts.
And it's such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even, he didn't have that much time to come up with a new story. Like this happened all within the span of 2 years.
Yes.
So how, I don't know. I don't get it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because I know, so musicians always say you have your whole life to write your first album. And then every album after that is a smaller window. So they had their whole lives to get to the point where you got to do Black Panther. Whether or not they were working on it, the product was, they had their whole lives, all their training, everything, all their experiences got to lead to that moment. But every subsequent film in the franchise comes with the history of what you did last time and the comparison. And then to lose a major part and then to come in and be like, okay, maybe I'll take a break. And like you said, Jaws, nah, I'm going to power through. And then to ask all the actors, can you power through with me and put your trust in me that I'm going to write something that will still honor him and continue the story in a way that the fans will appreciate.
Yeah.
Dude, that, like you were saying, that weight on Ryan, Ryan deserves all the praise. Let's give this man all the flowers because, dude, I would not be able to do that. I'm not even a writer, but you can't ask me. And within 2 years, I write this first script, homeboy passes away, and then I have to rewrite the script, adjust it.
Yeah, a whole new script. And
exactly.
I'm actually surprised that the actors did all stay, because I mean, if it were business for me and I was an actor in the movie, I would be thinking, okay, Chadwick's gone.
Yeah.
And now the whole story needs to change. This is probably gonna not do so good.
Right.
You're probably thinking, I'm just surprised that the actors, but then again, I'm like, the actors probably did it for Chadwick.
Yes,
probably felt, like a bit of a obligation to him to finish it for him.
Like you do a play, and then one of the actors passes or something big happens, and you're like, no, we're gonna do it for this guy, and we're gonna
yeah, exactly.
We're all gonna grow. They would have gone on and done it for us, and et cetera, that kind of camaraderie. Camaraderie.
camaraderie. Yeah.
Family
Family
that they all have together, you know, and remembering everybody, like they're doing all the press tours and all the photo ops and stuff like that, and just everyone just really enjoying each other's time and space and everything like that, and they're just happy to just, oh man, we're all doing this big thing, and all these kids are super into it, and just everybody across the board. Like this movie does not make $1 billion just because one type of person likes it, one type of people like it. It's everybody really enjoyed this movie.
So let's start talking about the movie itself, because I think we talked about the process a little bit here for anyone, and I felt like the reason we wanted to do that is to also set expectations for you as fans. So if you've watched the film, jump in with us. Hopefully you had a similar experience. If you have not watched the film and you're the type of person who just likes to hear people talk about things and you don't mind spoilers, welcome. We're more than happy to discuss with you. If you are a fan who wants to watch the film first, I would highly recommend you pause now or mark this timer now and then come back to the episode after you've seen the film, because we're going to start talking about it. But let's start with this, taking into consideration, much like you were saying, Janessa, you have this script, you have all these actors, you now are moving on without Chadwick. You're one of the 3rd tier, 4th tier actors, and you're looking at the script and you're thinking, oh shit, Letitia has to take over. How are you feeling knowing that now she has to take the reins as the leader, as the, like, I guess as the new heart of this franchise, at least for this film? Because I don't think we're going to focus on her as the heart continuing, but I think in this film that's what they were focused on. How would you feel?
I mean, at the beginning, I think they kind of gave the idea that she was going to be the next Black Panther. And to be honest, at first I didn't really like that,
right?
Because I felt it was a bit too easy, it was a bit too predictable. But obviously, I think the way they did it, it was the way it had to be done. And I thought she handled it really well with, how they brought in her coping with the grieving of her brother, and just not being able to accept that he's gone and not accept that Black Panther isn't there anymore.
Right.
So,
and like giving up on the mantle.
Yeah.
Because she felt like the mantle let her down. I don't think she felt like her brother let her down. I feel like she felt like she let everyone down because she couldn't recreate.
She thought it was her fault.
Right.
Yeah.
But
which is like a part of grieving,
Yeah. And it, I mean, that was, for me, it was a hard part to watch because I definitely saw, like, I've read the comic book, and in the comic book, T'Challa doesn't die, but there is a part where she becomes the Black Panther. So I was pretty sure that's the direction they were going to. I secretly had hoped for Nakia.
Yes.
I had big hopes that Lupita, like, especially in the movie almost kind of does a moment where when they finally get the heart-shaped herb, and she walks up and she sees it and she's talking about it, and you get a sense of like, is she gonna take the mantle? Like, I had a second where I thought maybe Shuri is gonna look at her and be like, you should do it because you're the spy, you saved my life by that point. Like, the skills, you're the fighter, like, I trust in you. Because that's the other thing, no offense to the writing, but Shuri's not a fighter.
No,
like, she's not a trained fighter.
No.
And
that's why I was like, how are they gonna make her the Black Panther? Like,
she just hits him with the sonic gauntlets. That's more of her thing. She's more from like afar, but then now she has to be a fighter.
But that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like, you don't learn fighting because you took a hurt.
I'm like, is she gonna start training now? Like, what?
Yes. That was one thing that I was like, and I know people complain, like nerds will always say Mary Sue, where a character just happens to pick up something and can do it without.
She ate a herb.
Yeah.
But let her have it.
That's what. No. I'm not trying to take away from it because I still think they did a great job with her. I think her fighting scenes were amazing. And also I'll point out that she loses that fight, if we're being honest. But but because her opponent is weakened, she figures out a way to push through to finish the person.
Right.
Because she had already lost. Yeah, she had lost the fight. And again, spoilers again, but she's speared through and stuck to something.
Yeah.
with like, and not just a regular spear. She's speared through with a fucking vibranium spear.
Yeah. Well, I thought she would have taken one of the beads and stuck it in like they did with Ross.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's also something with Shiri is that she doesn't really believe in tradition.
Right.
That's something that she constantly says throughout the movie. Like, oh, we're moving away from that. We're not really doing that. Like she's always kind of shoving tradition aside, where T'Challa was always like, no, I gotta keep the tradition alive. Or especially the what are those scenes from the first movie where he's wearing the slippers, you know. So just kind of like that was also part of her like, I don't want to do traditional stuff, it's stupid. And then in the end she kind of like embraces a little bit of it and then doesn't like what she has to see.
I feel like that came into play actually when that scene where she takes I can't remember the name of it, the liquid where she drinks it.
The herb?
Yeah, sorry.
The herb, yeah.
So when she drinks that and then has the dream,
right?
I think that comes into play where like she's not very traditional, or I mean, it was also anger, because of T'Challa passing and her not being able to save him. But when she sees
Killmonger,
she's like, Mom. She's like, Mom, and then cuts her out, and you're like, everyone in the theater's like, oh my god, no.
Dude, I not once did I think, I knew it was Killmonger the entire time.
Really?
Yes. The second she went there, I was like, I even said to my partner, I was like, it's gonna be Killmonger. And then it was. I was like,
because it's similar.
I wasn't sure.
Because it's similar to how Killmonger goes into the astral plane, where he
sees
he opens up a door and it's not his dad first. He sees the apartment where his dad died.
Right.
And then the astral plane is beyond the windows, but he doesn't care about that. He doesn't even see that. He can't see that. He just sees where his dad dies, and he talks with his dad. So she just sees the throne room where her mom died, and she can't see the astral plane, so she's not really going to care about the ancestors. And she sees somebody that went through the same thing. I came home, saw my mom, my parental person dead, and I got all this anger. So
exactly.
So you're only going to see.
Ooh, that's a good point, Jaws. She's similarly in the same situation that he was.
Yeah, which is why she saw him.
Right.
She can relate to how he was feeling.
I just thought of it as they were just both angry people, but you guys are both right. Yeah, that whole aspect of like, no, it's because they were both the ones who came and saw their parents dead. Oh shit. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you.
I think that's why she was having conflicting, views on what to do, because she was like, I'm so angry with. And then I think she was understanding. I think the reason she saw him too was she had an understanding why he was the way he was,
right,
based on his experience.
Okay, you guys are bringing levels to this shit.
But then when she saw him, she I think was in denial, that she's like, I can't be like this.
She's so angry at herself.
She's so upset.
I think she wanted, even though she called out for her mom, I think she wanted to see her brother and her brother to tell her, it's okay. It's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up. But no, she sees her cousin. Her badass cousin.
The angry cousin.
Oh my god.
And she knew. I think that's why she was so angry with it, because she was in denial that she could ever feel the way he was feeling, or see it the way he saw it,
Yeah, because when she thinks of him, she thinks of someone she wants, almost would look down upon, because it's just like, you give into base instincts and act aggressive and don't think about the repercussions of things. And then it's just like, oh shit, I'm feeling that right now.
And then but he also she's trying to blame everything on him. She's really you burnt all the heart-shaped herbs. I could have had that. I could have saved my brother. And it's that he's like, nah, like I did what I had to do. Your brother ended up in the end, your brother told everybody about Wakanda and this, that. So, and then also your dad killed my dad.
yeah.
You know, just like don't like I came back to claim what you shut out from me.
Right.
And all that other stuff is just, you know, business.
Yeah.
Your brother stopped me from doing what I was going to do. We'd have taken over everything, and whatever. He would have came back, whatever. I don't care. But don't turn around and be like, oh, it's your fault. Like your dad killed my dad. Your dad ain't perfect.
Yeah.
You were about to say?
No, I was just gonna say I think that was like one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Just because you can see the she's fighting herself.
Yeah.
Talking to him, but it was such a good interaction with them, with those two characters.
Yes.
Because you can kind of feel for him, like, you know what he went through, and I think that's where she was, you know, conflicting with her own views of things, because she was feeling the way he felt.
Yeah.
And it was just a powerful scene to see her go through that. And then her, you know, waking up from it and then not wanting to say who she saw, not wanting to talk about it.
And like being mad at herself because...
Just, angry.
Yeah.
I'm nothing like him. Why am I seeing him?
Yes. It's like, why is that who I saw? Why didn't I see my mother?
Yeah.
And then when she even says later on, like, my mother abandoned me, like, it's like you're still kind of going through denial, where it's like, you see who you're meant to see in the astral plane. You don't see... Like, it's not, they're not picking to come to you. You're seeing who you're supposed to see. And then she still does see her, which, by the way, we skipped a little bit, but we did
we skipped a lot.
From the beginning to the end. More just the fact that Ramonda dies, guys. Angela Bassett's character, which I did not expect in the slightest, when that scene happened, I was convinced she was going to make it. I was convinced. I was like, there's no way you're going to kill Angela Bassett's character. You know,
watch me.
Yeah, that was sad.
That
was sad. I teared when that happened.
Yeah.
So just a little context for anyone who might be watching this and didn't see the movie. Riri Williams figures out how to build a piece of technology that can sense vibranium. It's the only one in the world. They don't tell you it's Riri at first, but based on the fact that that's the character that we need, and that her show, by the way, Ironheart, is going to be a direct sequel to this movie. But so for anyone, that's cool. Something that was announced. So her show is going to pick up right at the end, like where the movie left off. So I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping to see some Wakandan crossover with that. But all that to say, so you know, she invents the thing. They're into Antarctica. Namor, Tenoch Huerta, who does an amazing job as Namor, like the swagger of Namor. Like if you're a kid who read the comic book, the swagger of Namor who like has this thing of like, bitch, I'm the shit. Like that's how he talks in the comic book. Like he really, it's like BD, big dick energy. This dude has it. And then Tenoch walks in and he's just like, yeah, I don't know how to swim, but I'm gonna do this. And he just goes thwap thwap, and you're like, good God, in the little green shorts with a belt on, and you're just like, he
killed it.
Oh my God.
He killed it. Yeah.
So he shows up, he stops them from using the machine, him and the Talokans, right? That's what they're called.
Yeah. In the comic book, the name of the place they're in is Talokan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the Talokans take down that ship. Lake Bell, shout outs to Lake Bell, for being in for 2 minutes, which was hilarious.
I was like, yo, it's oh my God. Oh,
I know. I got for those of you who don't know, Lake Bell is also the voice actress who did Black Widow in the What If series, which I thought was cool. So, but
she's also in How to Make It in America for those 2 seasons. That's what I remember from. Like, oh, shoot.
Awesome actress, does a whole bunch of stuff, and I think even does some directing now too. So it was just funny to see her. And then, so in my head, you know, when you see certain actors, you're just like, okay, well, obviously this person doesn't die because the actor's so famous. You're just like, well, this person doesn't die. And then to just see Namor show up and be like, bitch, you're not getting away. To catch her helicopter and just whip it down.
Budget cuts, you know? Budget cuts. I had to keep it short.
Yeah. Lake, your quote is a little high. So we're gonna have to cut your scenes. But dude, like, so she comes in, they do all this stuff. Fast forward, Namor shows up in Wakanda, tells them, yo, you got to go find Riri, take care of business.
No, he shows up in Wakanda, tells them, they're fine. They're my kingdom has a bunch of vibranium, and they're like, no, all the vibranium's on land. What are you talking about? And it's like, and then Shiri says the most important thing: Mommy's covered head to toe in vibranium.
Yes.
He's not lying. Why would he lie? Doesn't make any sense. And then somehow his people brought the vibranium detector, like, boom, and they didn't even notice.
Not unnoticed. Onto land.
On the land, you don't hear nothing. They're like, wait, where did that come from?
Huge. And by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, when we say vibranium detector, we're not talking about a handheld device. This thing is as big as a truck.
It's like a undersea mini submarine, I guess is the best way to describe it. Kind of like a mini submarine.
It's mini sub, one of those big transformer things, the big generators you see on the side of the road. Picture a big machine. That's it. No matter what you're picturing, it's probably a little bit bigger. Picture that. They took this thing out of the water, dropped it on the beach next to them. Nobody heard anything. Fucking little ninjas over there with Talokan. Anyways, all that to say, we get to Riri. We got some badass scenes. You get that pose with where you get Okoye and Shuri standing in at MIT, leaning against the car, looking badass. I was just like, yo.
I was like, wow, the outfits are really good. God. Like the stylists did good this movie.
Honestly, with the haircut too. Like Shuri had the fade up, looking nice. Oh my god, yo, that scene.
Something I want to point out that I thought was a little bit interesting when Shuri and Killmonger met up, and then like she goes to battle and she has her hair tied up. I'm like, is that kind of like similar to Killmonger's hair kind of thing going on?
Oh, interesting.
Because he has the dreads and he kind of has it up too.
Yeah, it was braided.
Yeah.
But she always had the fades though. Like even like I was watching from her in Black Panther 1, and she always had it kind of up.
But
like a mohawk style.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was cool that they set up all this stuff. You get to meet Riri, you get through all these things, you get to interact, and then Riri is now in Wakanda through a series of events. And Namor has told them like, oh, you have to handle her. He originally told them you have to hand her over to me. So
you
now
have to hand over the scientists to me. So they're like, oh, we're here to catch a guy, and they're like, wait a minute, this girl's 19.
Turns out to be this teenager. Yeah,
this girl's black and 19. What?
And then you get there, and essentially they start flooding Wakanda, which is similar. Once again, if you're a comic book reader, that is one of the stories. Namor has flooded Wakanda. Wakanda and Atlantis have had beef in the comic book, but they do that scene and it's crazy. Also, Namor and the Talokans have these insane water grenades that are fucking powerful.
Really
and then Namor, is trying to break the glass to get in and catch Riri and can't get through. So he just throws like 15. Like you just see so many water grenades get thrown at the window. And
I thought that was pretty cool, though.
It was pretty cool.
Like
amazing scene.
When I saw that, I was like, wait, what are they about to do right now?
Yes. Fantastic scene. But Ramonda and Riri get thrown under and are drowning. And I've probably talked about this before here. If not, I've told friends. I have a soft spot for self-sacrifice scenes. They always hit hard. They always hit me hard because it's the idea that even the most corrupt spirit or soul on earth, in that moment, if you decide to sacrifice your life to save another, I feel like there's some kind of deal where you get straight through to the pearly gates. It's one of those things where redemption, all of it, like it's the selflessness of knowing my life in this moment is not worth it, but this can help make the world a better place.
Yeah.
And Ramonda doing everything she can to get Riri back up to the top, and then you cut, and that's the thing that drove me crazy when they cut, because they show her swimming with her, and you're like, okay, she's gonna make.
You think they're gonna make it? Yeah.
Yes, and then they cut, and they're just both like unconscious.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I started getting goosebumps because I'm like, no, they're not killing Angela Bassett. Like,
that's what I thought too.
Well, once again, when actors are so popular, you're like, you're not gonna kill this.
And she's an important role. Like she's the queen. Like
she's the fucking queen.
She runs Wakanda.
Something to point out. There's a lot of meat for Angela Bassett, for Ramonda to talk about, and to she's trying to like help. She knows her daughter. She knows her daughter very well. She knows her daughter is grieving, and she's not expressing it. She doesn't want to. She's just like, I'm throwing
Right.
myself in my work. She's like, no, come on, we're gonna burn. This is something how I get over stuff. I burn our the garb that we wore for the funeral.
Right. Yeah.
Gotta burn it. Gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. She's like, nah, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. And then and then there was when Shuri gets kidnapped by the Tolkiens.
Yeah.
I hate saying it wrong. I really hate saying it wrong because
I don't even know how
I want to show them the
know
respect. I want to show them the respect.
It's called Talokan, right? So then saying it's Talokans?
Maybe?
I don't know, man. Hey.
Not Atlanteans.
Not Atlantean. That's what we know. Anyways.
And then she has that really good scene with Okoye where she strips her of her rank and her status and everything. And you're like, oh no, you're being too harsh. And it's like, this woman could go to the jail and see her husband. I buried my husband and I buried my son. And I told you not to bring my. And you're like, oh, okay, she's got a point. Oh god,
yeah.
That was a really, that scene gave me shivers.
Yeah, Angela really that's one of the things that's funny about Marvel movies, because you're just like, this is just a Marvel movie, and then you get Angela Bassett putting in all the real Angela Bassett talent into the scene, and you're like, man, Marvel ain't playing with these scenes.
Yeah, that scene to me was like an Oscar moment.
Yes,
there was that moment, and then there was also when she goes to the UN. And she goes to the UN and calls them out that like, yo, you're trying to steal our stuff. Stop it.
yeah. That was wild. That was such a great way to start the film, by the way.
Yes.
That alone kind of just reminding us that, like, because there's a 1-year jump after T'Challa dies at the beginning. And then Ramonda is the Queen Regent running the country. And, the UN is always pushing because
pointing the finger at them,
right? Because they promised to give them aid and all this stuff. So it's like,
but they're scared too,
of course, And it was T'Challa's decision to reveal Wakanda to the world. But now that he's gone, you have a nation of people who might not necessarily agree with that decision, who have to try and find a way to navigate this really dangerous political situation.
They're under a telescope
all the time. And you have the United States and France who are doing fuck shit. Like, how do you, like, it's not easy. And shout outs to Ryan Coogler for realizing that the two countries that would do fuck shit in the situation with black people, especially, and I feel like he did this on purpose. I might not
everything he's doing is on
everything's
purpose.
on purpose.
Everything he's doing on purpose.
But I might not have noticed the whole, like, the idea that Killmonger and her connecting because they both had similar situations. But I definitely noticed the idea that France is the villain in a movie where Haiti is the place that they spend a lot of time. And the other villain is the United States.
Lots of happy whisperings in the theater with me. I was like, I was like, a lot of Haiti. I'm like, that's interesting.
And then Toussaint, like, a lot of nods to the things that have been done in the past to black people in certain places by certain people. And to start the movie off with those two nations was a fucking on point statement. Ryan, shout outs to Ryan Coogler for being brave enough to write that in. And also, weirdly enough, I guess I'll say shout outs to Feige, because I don't know that Marvel and Disney give a fuck, but
I don't know if they would notice really.
You know what I mean?
I feel like same within the first movie where he did the Pan-African flag. All the characters are dressed like that, and they walk into the casino, the underground casino, and they're the Pan-African flag. I think there's a lot of moments where he's just if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Yes. A lot of if you know, you know. And France and the US being the two UN nations pushing the most for Wakanda. And then seeing, shout outs, respect. That I like that.
Yeah.
But when you continue, Ramonda is now has passed on. M'Baku, Winston Duke, is stepping up in a big way. I thought he did an amazing job being the counsel, the voice of reason, the like big brother that's not the big brother.
He wasn't as much of a knucklehead.
Right.
This one,
right.
Well, they
kept in the first one, they made him such a bad guy.
Yeah.
Not a bad guy, but kind of like a bully.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
And then this one, he was more trying to keep everyone together. And when he had that talk with Shuri.
Yes.
Was it after after her mom's funeral.
Yeah.
And he's telling her, you know, after everything you've been through, you're not a child anymore.
Right.
You know, that was a good scene. I think it showed that he's not just a knucklehead, you know, like
I just like the idea. Sorry, go ahead, Wendel.
But I think like he's always purposely proving that he's not a knucklehead, even though he's like, oh, I'm gonna challenge for the throne right now and this and that.
Like that though.
There's always moments where he switches it and he says like, no, I've read a book. What is wrong with you? I've read a book. We're vegetarians over here, you know.
Yes.
Like to me, it's like that tribe must be so smart because they're vegetarians in a hospitable part of Wakanda that's only like winter. It's genuinely winter. Ooh, so how are they getting the veggies to eat? And this guy's buff and so he has to eat so much.
I never thought of that.
He has to eat so much calories to stay that way. They must be smart. They gotta be smart.
Yeah, you're in the wilderness, like cold.
You're in the winter. You're in the mountains. So what is their irrigation system like? Do they have hydroponic something? They have a light source or something? You know, like what are they doing?
Funny. No, but I honestly I think the transition of the great gorilla M'Baku going from being the kind of like aggressive like king maker type, like I want to step in, to having this like all white docile conversation where
like he's a teddy bear.
I know.
You know? They made him like a softie.
Well, but like still, he's like
still kill you, but I agree. Like there was definitely a soft like core energy of like a loving person, which you know you definitely didn't see in the first one
because he's the new leader and everyone's kind of like everyone's kind of looking at him like hey. And he's like, you know, I have to bring wisdom. Like I've been through this with all of you. I have to bring wisdom. You know, I can't just be like you know,
I like that they did that. I think it was necessary, especially for this film, like with the tribute to Chadwick. It was good to have everyone see their soft side.
Yeah. There's more to Wakanda and the people than just what we saw the first time, which was can I talk real quick about Cole? How am I gonna mess up her name right now? Because I'm trying to see the name of the character she was playing, which is more Mikhail Cole. She's playing one of the
Anika?
Anika. Thank you. Yes.
I guess it's Anika. I could be saying it wrong.
Anika and Ayo in the comic book. So the Midnight Angel storyline is a separate storyline that Ta-Nehasi Coates wrote within the last couple of years.
Oh, so that's what that is. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's what the armor is. Okay.
Yeah. So that armor is a Ta-Nehasi Coates creation. Or at least that storyline. There's a whole other storyline too where Ayo and Anika are a couple, and one of them ends up in prison, and the other one steals the armor to break her out of prison. So when I saw the armor first of all, the armor looks exactly like it does in the comic book. Yes. So to the costume designer and to the people who did that, like note for note, it was perfect recreation. Like the first time they show it, I was just like, my God, they did such a good job. And then that subtle little kiss, it would have been nice to see a little more love between them because it is like a really heartfelt story in the comic book. But that subtle little kiss with Anika and Ayo at the end was such a perfect moment for me because I remember like
it wasn't some subtle kiss.
But I mean, in the sense that
I mean, it's very. I feel it's very blatant because she's like, "Thank you, my love." Like,
sure, I'm just saying in a 2 hour,
2
hour and 40-minute movie. I had no idea those two were a couple.
Me neither. No.
Right. Well, when Ayo walks out of the room to Anika that one time and says, "I told you not to mess with her when she's holding the blades," and she didn't bring her spear, and Okoye got mad.
Oh yeah. We didn't know at that
point. You don't get a sense that
maybe they're just friends or something.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Whereas that scene to me at the end, you think back to it as like, oh, it's her girl or it's her partner telling her like warning her, don't make certain moves in certain ways, as opposed to just it's your buddy being like, we're both soldiers, listen to the general. And I feel like that's why I said it was subtle. But you're right. She does say my love and give her an actual kiss on the head.
And I was like, oh, look at that. Right. Just blatant. Just like, deal with it. But what, you're gonna tell him different? You're gonna tell him different?
But that's what I love, because those two characters are so great in the comic book, and it's such a wonderful story in the comic book. And it like that Ta-Nehasi Coates, when he was writing Black Panther, one of the things that he did that was a little hard to take at first, he wrote a lot about Wakanda from a political perspective. And if you're a comic book nerd, you want to see people getting punched in the face. So reading pages of dialogues and bureaucracy where like T'Challa is like in a boardroom talking to like leaders from other parts of Wakanda, and they're like debating over taking down the royal, and I think by the end of it, T'Challa decides he's the king, but it's gonna be like England, where it's like there's a parliament and he's just a figurehead. And you're like watching this and you're like reading this and you're just like, this is a comic book. Why am I reading about politics and policy?
I mean, there's politics and everything now.
Facts. But it was such a weird thing for me at the time to be like,
the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Wakanda version. Or even before that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's what it felt like. And I wanted to see more of T'Challa running around punching people in a vibranium suits. And use it. And then, they introduced teleportation in that comic. And I got so excited. I had a nerd debate with a guy online on YouTube one day, and I was just like, yes, Black Panther can beat Iron Man. He'll teleport. And then the guy got mad. He's like, what do you mean teleport? I was like, go read Ta-Nehasi Coates' run. You see what I'm talking about? That felt good. You know what I mean? Anyways.
Iron Man ain't got no vibranium. Though. Oh, sorry. What was that?
No, what did you say?
I said Iron Man ain't got no vibranium suit.
Exactly. That's what Jaws, don't restart the debate. The fact that this man said Iron Man could beat T'Challa, I was just like, listen, fool. We're talking about
Iron
vibranium.
Got suits. He doesn't even know how to fight. He's not even a martial artist.
Thank you. Why am I out here? Why did I have to argue with this man for 2 days on YouTube?
The fact that he was able to take on 2 soldiers in Civil War.
Yes.
I'm surprised he didn't die sooner.
Wow.
Meanwhile, this bonehead is on here telling me, well, Iron Man's suit would just do this. And I'm like, dum-dum. Vibranium. Everything you're saying, vibranium. Nothing Tony has can take on vibranium. Stop it. Anyways, you were about to say, Janessa.
Oh, I was going to say there's one thing I had a problem with in the movie.
Okay.
And that's Riri's character. So, no, not her specifically. I liked her character a lot. But I didn't like where they went with her.
Okay.
So I feel like at the beginning they make you think, oh, maybe she's gonna be Black Panther. That's kind of the idea. Not necessarily right away, but when you meet her, and you see her, she's a Black woman,
super smart,
right. knows what she's doing, and then they're talking about bringing her to Wakanda, and obviously Shuri is the brain, so I'm thinking, oh, are they going to try and train her to be Black Panther? Are they?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's where my head went at first, but I'm like, it wouldn't make sense for them to do that because she has no connection to Wakanda, and it would be foolish of them to just bring a random scientist from America to be Black Panther.
Yeah.
But then I didn't understand that she kind of turned into like an Iron Man figure.
Yes.
To help them fight, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But then towards the end, she ends up being sort of like Shuri's replacement, as she becomes she's Black Panther for like a temporary moment.
Yes.
And then at the end, they just ship her back home. So in the end, I was like, wait, I don't understand. Was she just there to look cool and help for like 5 minutes and then go home?
Because I kind of felt like you saw her blueprints to make the suit. She had her like janky suit that she made just there. She built it in a cave with a pile of scraps, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So she was able to do whatever she needed to do there, but she had her blueprints and she burns it, and then she gets back her blueprints, and now she got Wakanda money. To build the final version of the suit, and then they're like, okay,
that has to be the title of this episode, by the way. Wakanda money.
And then she got Wakanda money, and then when they had to ship her back because it's like gonna cause an international incident if you don't.
But doesn't she know too much now?
I mean,
like,
I guess,
I don't know.
but
I mean,
I do understand what you mean,
Wakanda, though. But they took her in, and she became Shuri's sidekick for a few days or whatever it was, and it's just I don't know. I just feel like her character they just did nothing with her.
I agree that I definitely see what you're saying, because they wanted to introduce Riri, which I don't know why they wanted to introduce her in so badly, but I guess because they
needed a scientist, I guess.
Yeah, so they don't have an Iron Man and they want a new Iron Man. And in the comic book, when Iron Man dies, Riri does take over the mantle. That does happen. But the way they do it they do it very differently.
Which is why I was confused.
Right.
And also she's 15.
Right, she's 15.
Like way younger.
She's 15. No.
Yeah,
in the comic she's younger.
Oh, in the comics.
Sorry. In the comic book, she's trying to get into MIT. Okay. Oh no, she still had already gotten into MIT, but she got in trouble at MIT for stealing equipment to build her first suit.
Okay.
And then gets confronted. Her mom and her have a whole thing. Blah blah blah. But all this to say, Tony likes her enough and was keeping an eye on her, because Tony kind of has an eye on all the smart kids around the world, and kept an eye on her. And because she was like the heir apparent, he sends her a copy of his AI, and that becomes the AI for her suit.
Okay.
In the movie, I do agree with you though. It definitely felt like because T'Challa wasn't there, they needed Shuri to become the T'Challa and Riri to become the Shuri.
Exactly.
And then you're like, cool. And then by the end of the movie, they're just like, cool. You can go home now. Bye. And it's just like, here's your car. We got the car all fixed up for you. We're going to ship it on. It'll get there before you go.
With that Wakanda money. That Wakanda money. That's an expensive.
But like, can you imagine telling somebody like, thanks for your help. Your car's fixed. It's going to get there before you. Bye.
That's what I didn't understand. It was just like, all right, have a nice life. And I'm like, so she just played this significant, like this huge role that helped save the world, and now she just goes back home to school.
Also,
I don't know.
She can't talk about Tolakan. She can't talk about it.
Not allowed to. Doesn't she know too much?
She knows too much.
That's what I didn't understand. It's like, how do they just ship her back home and say, all right, have a nice life?
And like, you have to hope that Namor has enough clout in his spot that they don't go after her again when she's not protected by Wakandans.
Well,
unless they send war dogs to watch over her, but
that's true.
Well, like, I don't think she's gonna make another machine, because Wakandans have it, or they destroyed that machine.
No, but they know that she's capable of doing that.
She has the knowledge, and at this point, she has an idea, because remember, she got kidnapped. She was with Shuri, and Nakia saves her, and then they leave. So, I mean, unless she has no geolocation sense whatsoever, she kind of has an idea of an entrance into Talokan.
No, she was knocked out. Her and Shuri were
but I'm saying when they leave, they're not knocked out.
No, but I don't think she's looking back. I think she's just like, get out of here. And plus, you're looking back. Oh, I know where we are. We're in the ocean. Which ocean? I don't know. There's a lot of water. Well, and they bring that up. It's like, there's a lot of water. We don't know where any of this other vibranium is.
I don't know. It felt like it was just.
I do agree though. There's a few plot holes in the movie, but I mean.
But I guess they needed something to get the story going. And if they didn't have that scientist, then there wouldn't have been that whole war between Talokan and
I'll just say this. We needed that scene, so we got the tracksuit and Okoye in the baller ass blazer. That we needed, guys. We had to get them in Boston.
All for that moment.
And Okoye having a human moment. She was feeling a little. She's like,
self-conscious.
Some off with my stuff.
Oh,
yeah, that was funny.
That was so rude.
I think that's why.
Oh, is she wearing a ball cap?
Well, yeah, she normally has tattoos.
Oh, but she had the tattoos.
Scalp.
She had the tattoos. Yeah, she had.
Yeah, I think she did. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was covered. I thought that's why she was asking, or she covered it with makeup. Maybe no.
See, that's why she. Okay, that's what I did.
Because they did do a Fenty shout out. They did a Rihanna makeup, her brand Fenty. They did a shout out to her brand.
Okay, that makes more sense now. That she was like, I don't look good. Like, she's freaking out
that's true.
Okay, that makes more sense. I didn't catch that. See, look at that. Layers.
Yes. Rihanna, also that track, hilarious. That one thing, and this is unrelated to the movie review. Shout outs to Skinny, who's in the studio now. Can we just take a moment that for the first time Rihanna's coming back, and I think we already said it. Everyone was expecting like a wild ass track, and then her first track back is this like sad ballad to T'Challa. Like, you're just like, okay, all right. We waited six years. This okay. We're good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I was taken back.
Yeah, we were all taken back.
I think actually, people have told me that it was apparently known that it was supposed to be a tribute to Chadwick and for Black Panther.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know at all.
I had no idea. So when I heard she dropped a track, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Rihanna dropped a track? Oh my god! Like, I'm so excited. You know, I put on my headphones, I turned on the song, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, because you dance too. So like for you, you're like, all right, we're gonna do a video to this, and then it's just like, okay.
Not necessarily. Like I like her. I love her slow tracks too. Yeah. But it's just it's not her tip. It's not really her type of music. It's not her genre.
Not what you're expecting.
Yeah. So I was a bit like not disappointed, but kind of like I think I just wasn't ready.
Oh, I was disappointed. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I like the song.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
He can come at Brian Holiday on Twitter.
You know what, y'all? If you want to get at me in the DMs because I was disappointed,
Smoke wants to be had at Brian Holiday.
I love Riri. I love the song. I just, first song back, I was hoping for something that would make me want to go wild in a club, even though I haven't been to a club in 5 years because I'm old now.
But the thing is that for me it was more like, okay, I understand. Like I can understand why the track went this way, just because again, I think I said this last week. She's older now. She just had a kid. Yeah. Right. She's a businesswoman. She's seen other people blowing up their own spots in their own business. Like, okay, I gotta Jay-Z this a little bit. Gotta
didn't we make the joke? Was it you that made the joke that like she's a billionaire now, so she doesn't have to do like she doesn't have to do she doesn't have to do the wild track. Billionaire money lets you do.
Oh, it's probably skinny. More like
it was skinny. Yeah, billionaire money lets you do a low key track because you're just like, I'm a billionaire. I don't care what y'all don't know. I don't gotta be in the club making y'all dance.
The proper terminology is I don't have to do shit.
Yes, facts. Facts. She never had to
do
music again.
Billionaire money. I don't have to do a damn thing. You can take your charts and you can go that way.
Same with Beyonce in the sense of not that she's a billionaire, not that she's married to one. It's just I could just drop whatever and everyone's coming to it. So
right.
I don't need the Grammy. I don't need this. I don't need like I could just do whatever.
And don't forget, Rihanna's doing the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Next year, sorry. Is it next year? Or this
year?
2023.
Rihanna's been doing this for so long. Rihanna could have recorded the track, and when she went on the mic, and that was it, and people would have bought that shit.
No. Her track could have been her just looking at the mic and giving it the finger. And everyone's like, "Oh,
video by Rihanna." That would be messed up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dirty look, side-eye to the mic, finger. Number one.
But back to the movie. Two characters that I didn't talk about that I don't know if you guys cared much for them, but I was kind of excited, but they weren't as loyal to the comic book. Namora.
Oh, well, she was blue.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, it's weird. In Tolokon, they don't look blue. Outside of the water, they blue.
Exactly.
Because the whole skin pigmentation underside the water, so temperatures and whatnot. I'm just making that up.
Is that okay? I was like, is that
sounds like it makes sense?
I don't think you're wrong, Skinny, because I definitely got the vibe that that's what they were trying to aim at. Like,
I guess the oxygen once it touches. I don't know.
There you go. See?
Interesting. Yes.
I say silliness, and she just makes it sound smart. Boom.
Yeah. But Atuma. Can we talk about that Okoye and Atuma as a battle? I like that rivalry. I like that rivalry. I like the energy. Like I like the I'm the general of this army. You're the general of this army. And one thing that I want to say that
he didn't die though. Atuma didn't. Like none of them got offed.
So. No. And
that's none of the major players got offed.
Good.
Yeah.
Lots of Wakandans died.
Yeah.
Armies got.
You had like 10 people on the top of that ship at the end. I was like, yo, Wakanda's about to be wiped out. Y'all, you sent your best of your best out here, and only 10 of y'all are on the top of this ship.
Yeah, but they got babies on babies being made. They'll be fine.
But one of the things that traditionally they do in movies, women always fighting women, men always fighting men. And watching this film the whole time, I was so happy that Namora was not the challenge for Okoye.
Yeah.
It was Atuma, and Atuma was not holding back either.
No.
And I love those fights because too many times you get these like this woman character shows up to be the sidekick of this person, and now this is who this woman's fighting, and that's who the guy's fighting. And I would always be like especially in James Bond, I used to fucking hate that shit in Bond movies. Bond would always
the Bond movies are very sexist.
Oh god, they're sexist, but like,
but he's dressed so sharp, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a sharp-looking motherfucker.
Look at that dress that she's wearing.
Probably slightly racist too, if we're being honest. He's an old white British dude. Let's be honest about that shit. But anyway,
don't do that. No,
hey, I'm just saying, maybe highly likely.
I already think most white men over 50 be racist, so you don't do that to James Bond.
Can't tell if you're racist or you're really into hip hop.
Right?
Really racist or you're just really good on the court. I can't. It's really tough right now.
But I'll just say, like, that whole idea of like women always have to, like, the way they write it usually, it's like women have to fight women. So when I saw those fights, that first fight on the bridge when they were trying to capture Riri and Okoye was just like not standing down. Like,
that was a really good scene.
Great scene.
Yeah, good fight scene.
Atuma kept being like, "Yo, stop standing up." It's kind of like a sense of like, have I not beat your ass enough? And Okoye would just be like, "Nope, get back up, keep fighting." You're like, "Yo, Okoye, like that determination in that fight was so good to watch, and it reminded you that like the Dora Milaje are not to be fucked with." And I had just seen Woman King, and like,
also
so good. But one of the things that I don't know, I only learned it when I heard about Woman King, is like the Dora Milaje are based on the women of Woman King, like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that army. That's where they got the idea for the Dora Milaje. And then T'Challa is supposedly partially based on Muramasa, who was that like African, like the richest king that's ever lived in the world. Just African.
Okay. Or he made his pilgrimage to Mecca, and as he went through, like, oh, here's a little this, here's a little this.
Yeah,
he destroyed economies.
By just giving people wild money.
He was tipping him way too much.
Out. He gave out so much money that he devalued almost everything.
That's so G.
Because he's so rich, it meant nothing to him, but to these people, it's just like, yeah.
Oh, what you guys? Oh, your currency is silk here.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But I'll also say, like when they were creating Wakanda and Black Panther, the fact that they looked at African history and built off of those things to introduce these characters and these stories.
Wait, hold on.
And then
Stan Lee looked at African or Ta-Nehasi?
I don't know.
This is after Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
When other people started building onto it.
Yeah.
Stan was like, his name's T'Challa. There. I did my job. I did my part.
I mean, it's probably what.
Apparently, Kirby
did the Christopher Priest maybe did the Dora Milaje. I don't know if he's the one that introduced them, but I know he wrote one of the biggest stories because the story with Nakia and T'Challa being off at university and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken, was a Priest line. Anyways, sorry, you were about to say.
I was going to say, originally Jack Kirby wanted to make T'Challa with no mask. And behind his back, they colored in his mask so you wouldn't see that he was black. And he was like, and you draw it again, and they just color it in.
Even though his name is Black Panther and he's the Black King of Wakanda, but no, don't show a black superhero, guys. You fucking idiots. Anyways,
wow, I won't even get into the amount of protection that they did over the weird. I can't even. You're so soft. Like, oh no, my poor brain. I know, but come on, like really. Jack Kirby's like, really, guys? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I saw you with. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, we need you to add more white people. Cool. I'll add the KKK. Here you go. Like stuff like that.
Here he's beating up the KKK. Shut up and leave me alone.
The fact that they did that in the comic book, like, oh, we need more white people, so they put the Ku Klux Klan and then had Black Panther beat the Ku Klux Klan. Like, shout outs to them dudes for being all sorts of crazy brave with it. Like that I respect that they did that shit. And then, you get
I took the editor's note and I did what you told me to do.
Exactly. This is not what I said. Read my note.
You have to look up what was it, the South Park guys doing the MPAA notes, where they're like taking the notes and they're changing the stuff they need to change.
Yeah, for the ratings.
Yeah. Oh my God. Specifically for their movie.
So yeah, Atuma, Namora, great. The whole trip through Talokan was beautiful. I gotta say, I was impressed. Shuri being in that awkward suit was so funny to me the whole time.
That big like astronaut.
Oh my god, it was so funny because when you watch all of the stuff in Wakanda, everything in Wakanda is so slick. But the only thing the Talokans had was this big tank of a suit. And it goes to show you know what it made me think of in that moment? It's probably really sad that it made me think of this, but whenever like someone is single and only has one towel and they're just like, yeah, because I don't want anyone staying at my house. Like here's this ugly ass suit. No, because we don't want none of y'all coming out and hanging with us.
So to me, all that reminded me of the movie The Abyss, but also to me, in the beginning of the movie, they grabbed one of the dudes.
Oh yeah.
And there was two suits.
Yes,
two suits. Right. So that means they destroyed one suit kept one.
You're right. That's a good point. That is a suit.
She's in a suit of a dead person. Yeah. I don't know. They somehow took this person out the suit. I don't know. They made them into jelly and they poured them out the side. I don't know what they did with that person. You don't know what they did with that person. But she's just chilling in. Somebody died in that suit.
Yeah. Hold on. You're right. I completely you're right. That is the suit. But it's just it was just so funny to see her in that suit. And then you had that moment of Shuri being scared when Namor just took off in the stream, she's just like and then like they gave us that nice scenic shot of her like shooting out but like coming up to him and him like swimming, standing there like, or like I guess floating there, being all like Namor about it, being all like, bitch, I'm the shit, come at me. Like it's like yes we get it, BDE. Just wait till Sue Storm shows up with yourself.
But that scene was really interesting that they showed like the whole village, the people and their culture, and I thought that was really cool because they don't normally show. I feel like that side of. I mean, was he really a villain or was he like an anti-villain in this?
That's his whole thing.
You're hitting
Namor's whole thing. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys because y'all saw it visually. Does he strike the perfect balance of I'm crazy, but I'm just not going to show it fully yet? Like, does he have his moments where he's like cool and it?
No,
I didn't see that
because he's chemically imbalanced. They say he's
in the comic book. In the comic book, Namor is like nuts. There's one of the major stories that one of my favorite stories is at one point there's like incursions where the planets, the multiverse is collapsing on itself.
You can't give her that right away. You're gonna give her that first. Okay.
The only reason I'm doing that story is because you have like an Illuminati, so all these heroes are working together to try and stop these incursions, and Namor gets pissed with the heroes and goes, you know what, fuck you bitches, and starts an evil Illuminati with villains. And that's why I was saying that, and that's why I'm giving the example, because Namor's the type of guy that is so two-faced. He's just like, listen, y'all need to do it this way, and everyone's like, we can't do that. He's just like, fuck y'all, and then goes over and
I'm gonna go over here and make my own Illuminati with blackjack and hookers.
We really didn't get that side of him.
Exactly.
This was like, I feel like it was a softer.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't. That's why I'm like, was he a villain? Was he an anti-villain? I didn't get.
The only hint of that you get is at the end, which you at the end when she says, "Why didn't you like?" She didn't strike you down, and he says, "Yes, but." And I like how he said it, because essentially he was saying like, yo, they're gonna come from these niggas. Sorry. When they do, guess what? We gonna be their friends.
So
the Latinos and the blacks will work together. That's what that scene essentially was saying.
Hold on. So just context. Yeah, please. Is that they obviously have to change his origin story. So,
yeah, but he knows that.
I
know that part.
Yeah, you saw everything, or I can't.
I read it, but he knew that part already.
I know that it's from and then yeah.
So but the scene that they really solidify and ties into what Doc says is he comes back to bury his mom on her ancestral land where the Aztecs were, and they get there and there's a Spanish plantation where it used to be. Exactly,
and he burns it.
And he, as Namor child, he burns the plantation down. They carve out a little spot. They bury the mom as to their tradition. And there's like a dying Spanish priest that says, "You are a nameless, you're a devil child, you're nameless,
Yeah.
but if you crunch all that word together, you get Namor.
Kakukan. Yeah,
no, Namor. So he's
Well,
like
yeah,
devil child.
Yeah, a
or
child
something like
without. Yeah, it was like the child without love. Ni
In the
amor.
movie, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Namor,
So,
okay.
so that's how they. I thought
I
that was
kind of
cool.
hated.
I didn't love that, but
I liked
because
it.
now you're gonna have a
There's
bunch of
definitely-
fanboys calling him Namor and not Namor.
Yes, exactly. Thank you,
Name's
Skinny.
Namor.
His name
Not
is Namor. You don't need to call him Namor.
I agree,
Yeah.
but you know, you
I'm a
kind of have to
Latin
change.
lover.
If
No,
you're
but at
gonna
least
go,
because there's a spin.
Yeah.
If
you're gonna go
in that direction and say like, okay, he's Aztec, then you might as well go
make
all
it
the way
make
with
fully
it.
sense. I
And
get
then-
it.
Sure.
Because you can't go the other way and say, oh no, he's Atlantean, and then everyone's looking at
Yeah.
you with Aquaman 2 coming out, and like, really? That's what's up?
But what they could have done was they could have called it Talokan, but because people be assimilating and quote unquote washing things in a certain manner, they could be like, oh yeah, he's Atlantean, and Namor could be even more mad at that.
But again, the whole
You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm not Atlantean.
The whole conceit of this whole movie is that Namor comes back and he's like, don't you goddamn tell them about me. You better tell them. Don't tell them. He's like threatening the crap out of Wakanda.
He threatens everybody.
Yeah.
And they're like, they go to see Ross and he's like, well, why should I tell you? He's like, well, what's going on? And it's like, I can't tell you.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta say the way they played the situation with Ross, were like, obviously, I don't necessarily need Ross to be the white savior, so I'm happy that they didn't go to him again.
Yeah.
But
Ross
feels like he's the note. He's like the editor's note. Like, you need to put in this and then add this little sideline here.
It was just so funny because Ross kept being like that teacher in the school that you're being picked on. So the teachers ask you like, who's picking on you? And you're like, I can't tell you. They said they beat me up more. Like, everyone.
But if you would open up your eyes, you might see the person hitting me.
Everyone in Wakanda is just like, yo, like, we can't tell you, but something is at play. Another nation, listen, I can't say that. and Ross is just like,
well,
sorry,
because there's two flips. I mean, again, you could read into this a little bit more. There might be an added layer. It's like, okay, they called Ross the colonizer, so it's like, you really about to tell the colonizer people that were just trying to rob you for your vibranium about another nation with more vibranium?
Yeah.
Let them get got, not us.
Facts, actually. Point them in another direction.
Go ahead.
But then they will have. But then if they get got, then they'll have all the vibranium, and they're looking at you like you get all these guns on you, all these vibranium guns on you.
You see, I'm assuming enemy is my friend. That's all.
So I'm assuming that the Talokanians will take care. They will definitely take care of Ross and his people, and Wakanda would be like,
there's definitely a disadvantage for them because the fact that it's underwater, they wouldn't have been able to handle them to begin with. But all to say, I just found Ross funny because every time they were talking to him, it really felt like I was watching the teacher ask you like, who's picking on you? And Ramonda would be like, I can't tell you anything. And I'm like, Jesus, man, like, I get it. You shouldn't tell him, because also for the fact that what Jaws said, like, don't tell the colonizer about the other colony. But it was just funny to be like,
again, bringing it back to the first scene. Okay, I'm going to tell the American after I just told the Americans and friends, stop messing with her shit. Stop coming for her stuff.
But it was just funny because it's just like, teacher. Oh, okay, no, nothing's happening here. And then you find out at the end that the principal already was listening on the teacher's calls the whole time. Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up playing her Valentina character. We know she's going to be doing that Thunderbolt. Like, they're setting her. First of all, how is this woman the head of the CIA? What the fuck? When did that happen? Can we please get more info? I hope they give us more backstory on that, because you can't just introduce Valentina and be like, by the way, she just runs the CIA. What?
So who ran the CIA before?
I don't know, but
neither did I. None of us knew. So
none of us knew. We didn't care.
I feel like we have had.
We're all about Shield. We're all about Shield. We didn't care about the CIA.
Yeah, we didn't care about.
Well, we've had scenes with the CIA because what's her name? Sharon starts working for the CIA at one point.
When
Killmonger, he worked for the CIA actually.
Yeah, Killmonger worked for the CIA. Sharon worked for the CIA after she leaves. Oh no, Maria Hill. Sorry, not Sharon. Maria Hill moves and works for the CIA after she leaves Shield.
Did she really leave Shield though?
Well, I mean, no one ever really leaves Shield.
Yeah. So then, what movie was this when she was in CIA when they asked her? Because I do remember that. I just want to know.
Yeah, I don't remember what movie it is, but that's when she says that she's working for the CIA. And if Maria Hill's worked for the CIA and Valentina was the head of the CIA this whole time, you got to give me more backstory, because that's a lot of story.
Scroll Maria Hill or Maria Hill.
Listen here, motherfucker.
Well, there's another. I was watching something online and they were like, "Scroll Valentina."
Yes, I know. I honestly, the Secret Invasion show that we're gonna get with Nick Fury, it's gonna be. There's so much stuff that's gonna happen that I feel will influence or touch on all that stuff. I feel like this movie took the opportunity to be like, hey, this whole CIA stuff and all this stuff that you're seeing, as small as it is here, when we start telling this story over there, it's going to be interesting, because you guys are going to want to know like who Valentina is. Everett Ross is probably going to show up. Nick Fury is going to be there. Maria Hill's going to be there.
And the fact that Ross and her were married.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was huge.
That's okay. Just throw it in there. Yeah, it's big. But
because Everett Ross in the comic book, the Christopher Priest run is a whole crazy story where he's like divorced and he goes off to Wakanda, and Christopher Priest decided he wanted to write the story from the perspective of the white guy in Wakanda.
You need more of those stories. Yeah.
It's just because he wanted to do the fish out of water, like, here's what this crazy white boy thinks Wakanda looks like. And it's like his version. And it was really funny. Like, if you read it, you're just like, this is a silly ass fucking story. But it's great.
That's, like, they kind of play that up in the first movie. He's like, man, Wakanda's a third world nation. And he's like, really? That's what you think? It makes my arm look like a pea shooter. Come on, man. You stole all the vibranium. I didn't steal all the vibranium. They are sitting on a mountain of vibranium.
Speaking of vibranium, actually, 2 questions. A, you think because I never thought they were going to go with this full angle with like, oh yeah, T'Challa's dead, so we're going for all your metal now. Are they going to create adamantium as a way to try to recreate vibranium now?
Yes.
Is that they're in?
I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
Because when Valentina says, when Everett says to her, like, oh, we can only imagine what America would be like if it had all the vibranium. And Valentina goes, I dream about that every day. I was like, this bitch is crazy.
That's about right.
I know it's scary. It's scary, but
okay. And question numero 2 is well, actually, there's 2 parts of this.
Yeah.
A, do they make a third Wakanda? I mean, do they make a third Black Panther? And B, to the A part is, did they screw up by not including Doom in this movie?
So, first, before we say a third Wakanda, let's talk about the end, the post-credit scene. Skinny, you know what happens, right? Because I'm about to spoil it.
I saw that from a mile away, and I was like, please don't do that, because Young Avengers, but whatever.
I think it was the smartest way to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
because it means like they don't have to deal with this girl forever, and that in a future time jump, whatever, they can just be like, here you go.
I don't know. It felt like it was like when it ended. I mean, obviously there's going to be an end credit scene, but I felt like something was missing.
Right.
Like there was no wrap up to what was going to happen next, or what it was going to be. We all
potentially,
knew, Shuri's not going to be Black Panther
forever.
Yeah, forever. I think that would be problematic if they kept her as Black Panther.
Yeah, no offense to her, but
it's no offense to her. It's just, it's not what Black Panther represents.
Yeah, like when you watch the movie, you're just like, cool, this was a good one take.
Yeah,
like I don't want a sequel of her as Black Panther.
Yeah,
and that's not an insult to her. It's just
not that women can't be Black Panther.
No,
it's just
What was that show where they replaced the main hero with like a side portion of hero, and you're like, oh, that's cool, but you're just waiting for the real person to come back?
Right,
exactly.
They've done that many times. Commissioner Gordon being Batman, all sorts of things.
For me, the bigger part was the fact that had Ramonda not died,
which that bothered me.
Like, you have Angela Bassett in your franchise, and she's gone. Chadwick's gone, and now the one person who's going to lead the franchise is just Letitia by herself. Like, Lupita's there, but Lupita's not playing a major role. But when you do the post-credit scene and you introduce that Lupita's character Nakia had a child. Had a child.
Did you pay attention to how old the kid is?
8.
I was assuming he would have been like what, 5 or 6? 6? I would say 6, 7. About.
He's 6 years old. No,
so from what I saw and heard,
so basically it went down after Black Panther, and he kind of was born around Endgame, but like
yeah. So originally I heard the script was supposed to be that T'Challa was like kind of freaking out, kind of like messed up because he's blipped out for 5 years, and that's 5 years of lost time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's so it would have played more into that apparently.
Yeah.
So he's like a dad that just missed out on his son growing up, you know, and him dealing with that. But because he passed.
One last thing real quick, because
before you say it, because so for those of you who didn't watch it who might be listening to this, T'Challa's son is there, and T'Challa's son is now T'Challa because he kept the name. So the new Prince T'Challa. So when people are arguing about recasting T'Challa, because they're not recasting T'Challa, but they've reintroduced a Prince T'Challa into the universe, and like Skinny is saying, you're gonna have fucking Kang running around. You're gonna have an aged up Prince T'Challa in no time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get an adult T'Challa within the next couple years.
It's gonna be like a new Black Panther.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which how they do that is gonna be different. Lastly, oh no, I think I lost my point. Give me a second.
Sorry.
Give me a second. No, and it's gone. Yeah, totally gone.
Is it about the M word?
M word.
Oh, you asked about Doom.
No, that was one portion of it. Doom is you can go ahead and answer the question about Doom.
I'm a little shocked that Doom was not a part of this, because a lot of people were theorizing that Doom was going to be instead of France and the USA really fighting to try and get
Latvia
vibranium.
Yeah,
people thought it was going to be Doom working through some company or something. But that didn't come into play at all.
No.
Yeah, I think it's a little weird, but I think if anything, it's probably smarter to save Doom for the Fantastic Four, which is what they're going to do.
Oh yes. Did they say why or how T'Challa passed, or was it just like he got ill?
He was. Yeah, they just said he was ill.
Essentially, Captain Marvel cancer type, like original Captain Marvel from the comic book, not the Captain Marvel in the movies. Wow. But because they didn't have any real heart-shaped herb,
because homie burned it all.
So they couldn't even save him.
The beginning of the movie, the beginning of the movie is her trying to recreate a synthetic herb, but she only gets 29.7% accuracy with it.
And then she gets it from the thing from I know I read that part, and I was like, but I guess.
But I was saying before the M word,
mutant.
Namor actually says mutant.
Yes, I heard that, and I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
he calls himself a mutant. I'm a mutant. Yeah,
I don't remember.
But they're still
he's the only person in his in the whole thing where he's got ears. He's got like the pointy ears, and he's got the wings. So I think I like the fact that they're just like, don't ignore the ears. Ignore these. I have pointy ears. Just keep it moving.
Funny enough, he's using the word mutant in like the way Spider-Man's a mutant. Is like, I think the way he said it is like, because they explain the story how like, my mom was about to die. They figured out how to make this drink from this herb that my mom drank that she didn't want to drink. By the way, anti-vax conversation, loved it. But I'm not going to take it while I'm pregnant. I thought that was wonderful. But she won't take it while she's pregnant. Then she finally takes it while she's pregnant. And then the embryo or the baby, the fetus is mutated from her drinking that. The implication isn't that the baby mutated on its own. The implication is that when she drank
I feel you. Okay, right.
So
that's Spider-Man.
That's the only reason I'm saying it felt like they were leaning on a Spider-Man type mutation where an exterior force caused a mutation as opposed to a naturally occurring mutation like Homo Superior in the comic book.
But the heart-shaped herb could have, just like the bangle did with Kamala, it could have brought out something that might have already been in the embryo.
Which
it just kind of like boop, 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 and then it's like okay.
Which I hope is true, and they might nod to it at some other point. I'm totally down for that. Overall, I think we can all say we like the film. What would you give it on 5? Let's say.
Yeah, I usually work with 5.
Let's do 5. Yeah, that's true. Because Letterboxd, folks. Once again, we'll have to put it in our description for this episode so people can check out your Letterboxd stuff.
Nice. I think I would give it. I want to say, I'm torn between an 8. Sorry, I'm thinking 8 now. 8 out of 10.
4.
But I'm torn between a 4. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 4.
And I know people are gonna still get mad at me because they always get mad at me.
You're giving it 3.
No, 3.75.
Yeah, I was torn between 3.5 and a 4.
Yeah. I want to give it.
Like,
I want to give it essentially a 7.5 on 10. So 3.75 is where I'm
points
going.
for length, I'm guessing. No,
but it is long, but I didn't feel like there were too many wasted scenes. Like sometimes when those movies are long, you're just like, yo, you could have got this, you could have got this.
Yeah, this one didn't feel.
Yeah,
I felt like everything fit, everything made sense.
Because when our movie ended and my partner was just like, oh, it's 10:20, I was just like, oh shit, really? Like I didn't think it was that late.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3.75. Jaws, what are you giving it?
I think I'm giving it a 4, but I still like Black Panther 1 more.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I don't know why I felt like I knew the movie was coming out.
First movie's better. We're not trying to.
I want to ask that.
No. I'm just saying. I'm saying like first movie was coming out. You're hyped. You're listening to the soundtrack. You're really getting into like for this. I feel like November 1st just snuck up on me, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're here. Okay.
Vibe. Very different.
I want to know what you guys think I would feel about it when I finally do see it visually, because as you both might remember, I didn't really like the first one.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Like I liked the first one, and then up until a certain point, and I'm just like, nah, this ain't it. And I think it was the final battle. It took me right out of it. I was just like, nah, don't care. Too CGI. And then I saw it again in the theaters, and I fell asleep in that bitch. And I'm just like, okay, if I'm falling asleep in a Marvel movie, it means you're bottom tier. Like I don't care. And I've never fallen asleep in a Marvel movie except for Black Panther. So
you didn't even
say what you will, internet.
You didn't even get to see him do the what was it?
The
Charlton Heston. No, the Charlton Heston line at the end. Let them put me in the ocean.
I saw that the first time, and I'm like, cool. But I wasn't like, wow, this is the best Marvel movie ever. I was just like, this is cool.
Okay, yeah. I mean, for me, it's still Black Panther or Winter Soldier. I regularly debate which one is the best Marvel movie ever. So
I would say Winter Soldier definitely wins out because of the fight scenes, because they pull back that camera and those the stuntmen are putting in that work.
I agree with you. Remember? Every time I watch one, I go, this is the best one. But then I watch the other one, I go, well, fuck me. Like it's hard, man.
I'll double down. I'll say Civil War, because you get all the good of Captain America and you still get T'Challa.
Interesting. Yeah.
I love Winter Soldier too. But
I
don't think I like Civil War as much.
I like Civil War.
Take my toys and smash them together.
Take
my toys, smash them together. I'm just like, sure.
One of those kids.
So that's Janessa. Thank you so much for coming through. This was so much fun having you on. Great perspective. Hopefully you'll come back soon.
Thanks for having me.
It was.
Anytime.
How was it? Your first podcast experience?
It was cool. It's weird hearing my voice in a mic, but you get used to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Guys, anything you want to tell people to check out? Anything they need to know about it that's upcoming?
Check out Transformer Slag. Remember, sacrifice yourself to save the future.
Okay.
Do what Queen Ramonda would do.
Oh, I get it. Okay, that's fair.
Drown?
That's her. No, she
drown.
Her whole thing is
sacrifice
to save the future. We also one thing I also want to point out is that I think she got to see her she got to see her grandson before she died.
Yes, she did.
She did.
Toussaint.
Yeah, because she knew about it, but sure.
Well, because she goes to Haiti and meets Nakia, and then Nakia before she goes on the mission.
She was trying to tell her, burn your ceremonial stuff. Okay, I gotta tell you, you gotta Namor. And then Namor, and it's like,
oh, interesting. That's what she was gonna tell her.
It could have been that the whole she was trying to tell you got a nephew. But
you're
being too angry. I ain't gonna let you see your nephew while you're angry and still grieving. You got to see his auntie nice.
Auntie, why are your eyes so angry? Because your daddy did. I failed your daddy. Folks, always a pleasure doing this show. And hopefully you guys enjoyed tuning in this week. Once again, Janessa, thank you for coming through. If you guys are watching this or on Spotify, because it is going to be up on Spotify later, and you just watched it, in the description, you'll see the link to her letterbox, and you can go check out all the other films that she's reviewed. And as per always, you can check out all our stuff. All our links are in the description. And we'll be back with another one soon, kids. And don't forget, you can check out Chop Vision Podcast. Skinny, you guys are doing that on Sundays still, right?
Always Sundays at 7 p.m. Yes, sir.
Bong bong. And then The Dumbest Timeline, you guys can check out my other show. I try to drop them always on Fridays. Not always the best with that. My apologies. I'm going to be getting more regular at that. But the last episode is about Twitter, so it's a lot of fun. The hubris of a billionaire, because that's what I'm calling villainous billionaires now.
Tune in next week, y'all, where we'll be doing a full breakdown on the last 4 seasons of Atlanta. And
oh yeah, that's dope.
If y'all saw that, I'm just gonna say there's a lot of things to talk about.
Dope. All right, we out. Peace, everybody.